Okay, so that's happening. So welcome everybody. We've been, as often as possible, getting one of these global practice groups in each week. I know Frances had hers last week, didn't you, Frances? That was a really good one by all accounts.
Great. Yeah, it was beautiful with Louise on self-havening. Absolutely gorgeous.
I've got a
and what I'm loving, if I might just say, is that all the case studies that I had in the week following all contained stuff from that webinar. So that was amazing.
Fabulous, fabulous. I've got a backlog of wonderful material I want to be watching. It's carving out the time now. That's great. And Doug will be doing one next week based New York time. And then back to Frances, then back to me. And we're doing a few rounds. We'll probably pass the baton at some point, but we're going to keep them flowing for a while. Welcome, everybody. We've got 2 hours together. At halfway point, we're going to pause briefly. Here in the UK at 8 o'clock on a Thursday is our applauding the key workers. So at that point, I know we'll all want to applaud key workers around the world anyway, so we'll do that collectively at 8 o'clock UK time, so an hour.
And Tony, apparently this is the last week. One. Yeah, it's the last one.
Well, I'll keep applauding in my head anyway. But yeah, hopefully it's a sign that we're moving out of the pandemic, hopefully.
I've got one that's next door. Every time she comes out of her door, I go, woo!
Fabulous, how great. Lucky her. So we've got the second hour is going to be very much dedicated to everyone having a chance to practice. So we'll be putting people into pairs. There might be some threes, but getting a chance to do some practice. I've got a guest trainer here this evening is Louise Carmi, as I'll say a little bit more in a moment. We're going to have a little bit of a chat about content-free work. Louise is going to share a little bit about the work she's done with veterans and first responders. She's going to do a demo, yeah. And then the second hour is that practice time. So we'll, of course, ask please, whilst there's a presentation happening, if you can keep yourself muted most of the time, but do use the chat box. If you've got any questions, just pop them in there. We may be able to turn attention to that straight away, or it might be more appropriate to wait till later. But if you can, like I say, keep on the mute there for a while. When there is a presentation, especially in the demo, it might be useful for you to go to the top right and switch to speaker view. There's speaker view and there is gallery view. And speaker view allows you to see the key person who's speaking at the time full screen rather than the grid system that we've got here. They're the main things really. So without further ado, I'm going to, with great pleasure, introduce Louise Carmi. Louise Carmi was in right from the very beginning. I know she was at the very first Havening training in London in May 2013. I was there as well. And you've been fully involved ever since. Again, one of the early trainers to come on board and massive contributor. I know that during the very early times you started to run the London practice group, and it seems to have just grown and grown and grown. Very popular, and everyone getting a lot of value from that, so that's wonderful. And also played a big role in getting things off the ground in Australia, which again seems to be just going from strength to strength. So fabulous. So if we can just give a little either real applause or one of those little, we've got a little reactions button of applause for Louise Carmi. So nice to see you, Lou. I don't know if you want to say anything before we have a chat about content-free work. Is there anything you want to say about way of introduction?
Actually, just a few parameters, Tony, if that's okay. So one of them, we're on a really strict timeline. We have to finish a minute before 8 o'clock. So in terms of the work that any of us do online, we need to be aware of the boundaries that we set and about, in this context, not choosing the worst moment of somebody's life to work with, and making sure that we're working in a safe way. And so Kate Truitt did a presentation the other day about working with sexual health, acute sexual health issues, and that's really helpful. And it really emphasizes about when you're setting up for remote working, about the connectivity, the communication, the fallback system if the communication and systems fail. So I just wanted to make sure that we're aware of that. And I always ask clients for about a safe place. Where would your safe place be if you are going somewhere that's really quite difficult? The practitioners, we discussed last time about if we're doing content free, so it's likely not to be the case this time. But if there are issues that are hitting a button that is not resourceful, that we can do this, and we can take a break, and we can mute the screen and the video if it's not the video, the system. If
we can turn the volume right down,
and that people know that there's follow-up contact. Any issues arising, that people are contactable. So that's just the safety net really for any working remotely and in the context of today. So content free, let's have a chat. You said you like content free and you prefer content free. It's really interesting, isn't it, how well it works?
I love it because it's very clean. I can't have an opinion about the issue or offer an opinion about the issue. It's like trusting the process, trusting the tools, trusting the skills. Even before I got into havening, I used to challenge myself often to do NLP work content free, just to show that that the processes work. And havening just lends itself so beautifully to having content rich, content minimal like headlines, or content free if that's what the client prefers. What do you love about it?
I call it disclosure free, actually, because it can't be absolutely content free. For the client, there's content and it's there and it's activating sometimes. So again, for me, it's actually the safety of containment. So that if you're working, for example, working with veterans or working with people whose life is one on exposure to trauma, then reigniting that is hard, and therefore it's a way that contains and works in a safe space with them without necessarily revisiting the worst moment of their lives. And actually, I mean, bottom line, it's effective and it works. I think one of the intriguing bits is that what we look at in looking at the archaeology of havening, we've got this mindset where you're going for the initial encoding event, you're looking for the worst moment in somebody's life, you're looking for that little pot of gold that then you're going to de-link and give people resources to emerge from some difficult stuff. So it seems a bit, on one level, it seems a bit incongruous, because you're saying we're doing it without content, but you're actually going for the issues that are important and make.
I know that quite a lot of clients who come and get havening from me, certainly, it'd be interesting to hear other people's views, is they say they're sick and tired of having to tell that story. They've been from pillar to post, and it's like, gosh, you want me to tell it again? This is what often the first time there's a cathartic element to it, but by the 10th time with a different therapist, it can wear really thin, and each time at worst they're getting re-traumatized by the whole thing if there isn't the right tools in place to make a difference. I'd be curious, just if we could, I'm going to go to the grid just for a moment there, it's not speaker view, it's called gallery view, that's what I'm thinking. I'd be interested if you can just give like a little thumbs up or a wave if you've already used content-free work in your havening sessions. Contemporary, oh yeah, there's quite a few who have, and also a number who haven't. Okay, so we've got a mix here. Please do feel free to put things in the chat box about anything that you particularly like about it or find particularly useful about that. Yeah, we'll just pick up those threads as we go. And Louise, you're going to do a demonstration this evening with Content Free. Is that right? A little bit later.
Yes, yeah, sure. I guess sorry, had you finished speaking, Tony? I don't want to. Yeah. I guess my background. First of all, it's 6 years. In 2 weeks' time, it's 6 years since we started the London Havening group. So, you know, we would be having a celebration if, well, we can still have an imaginary celebration, but yeah, it has been one of the highlights of my life. And I guess for new people coming on, I would like to say that Havening is slightly addictive as a therapist because it works so well. So enjoy the journey for the new people on board. So should I go ahead? Is that okay?
Sure, yeah, you also...
My background and my experience has been working hugely over decades with child protection, with sexual abuse, with deaths, child deaths. And I know that with some clients, with that enormous burden, just getting those words out, those words are just unspeakable, absolutely unspeakable. And and certainly with some of the paramedics or other first responders that I've been working with, the onslaught, the continual exposure means, where do you begin? Where do you begin with this? And so the introduction of Content Free, I think, enables us, as you said, step back, keep it clean, not re-traumatize, but let the unconscious work in a way that works for the client. I was interested in, you mentioned Australia, in that I worked a lot with sensory motor psychotherapists, and they are very much into the body and that felt sense, and use colour, and that is, that really engaged with a sense of this process being really valuable. And Ron mentions that in some of his case studies about that feeling of dis-ease, and that felt sense. So even working with that felt sense in this context, you can get somewhere, that even if you don't know where you're going and the client doesn't know where they're going. So if you what we're going to do, Zoe is very kindly offered to be a demo candidate for this, and I know that we will follow up after today. It will be content free. I've asked Zoe, I don't know what we're going to work on because it's Zoe's, and it's disclosure free today. But if we actually look at, and we'll do some colour havening, the use of colour, we know that in NLP, I know Paul McKenna for years has, before havening, used colour as an anchor and about washing through and like progressive muscular relaxation, letting it all go. The sensory motor psychotherapists have done that. We've got art therapists that use colour. And if you think about colour, we associate, don't we? Red, what do you think about red? I mean, I think of Liverpool Football Club, but actually most people think about rage. Blue, depression or calm, for me, whichever association. Green could be green with envy or enjoying nature. So the representation of colour, is really varied. What we are looking at in this context with the demonstration is identifying a resolution, calibrating the submodalities of that, and allowing and facilitating the client to work towards a resolution, having recognised A, where they're going to, but B, on the onset, engaging with that unconscious trigger that probably is that amygdala alert, where they're associating a colour that is not resourceful, that they're moving away from. So it varies from person to person. It is an astonishing journey. We never know what the result's going to be, so we go with the flow on this, and I'm hoping that they'll work in a way that works, demonstrates it. I'd like to say where in Havening terms, where this came from is really early times. In 2014-15, Malika Stevenson, who worked with colour and introduced colour at the second conference actually I think it was Birmingham in 2015, and she developed a protocol of how, because of her experience, she developed a protocol in how to use colour as a metaphor, which was the language to use in that. And I found today a report that we presented at that, being involved, Veterans Havening, at that conference in 2015, and I know Malika did from memory, it was a brief intervention with, I think, 12 veterans, really traumatized veterans with PTSD. She did 4 sessions over I think it was about 4 sessions over about 12 weeks in 3 different areas, and the results were presented at the conference, and the response that the veterans gave at the conference, they came to the conference, where Havening is a lifesaver for me. It's given me my life back. After each session, there's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's magic to me. It helped me come back to being a normal person again with the help of Havening. It's helped me so much, and all I can say is thank you. And that was content-free work. So it's that acknowledgement to how powerful this tool is, and how we can use it in a way that is sensitive. When a veteran or a first responder feel that they've got the back to the wall, they're hypervigilant. Yeah, as you say, reliving that worst moment isn't necessary. So should we have a go?
Yeah, would you mind just saying a little more about, you'd mentioned the term submodalities, and I know that some people on the call, that's a word that they've used for many years.
Sorry, I do apologise. So what I'm going to be doing is asking Zoe's unconscious to engage and to represent where we're moving towards. First of all, moving towards with a colour, and asking where that colour is in relation to where she is. And we get a real variety of response. It could be way over on the horizon. It could be here. It could be over there, asking what shape it is, what size it is it moving, is it still? So that representation, does it have a smell? Is there anything else about it? So you're getting that representation while doing Havening touch, delta state, creating that, reducing the threshold of connectivity. Then stopping that, and then going into where are we moving from? So the unresourceful, that whatever it is represented, and identifying a colour, doing the same questions, shape, size, location, distance, distance. And then, because we're then going into where we're moving away from, we then begin the Havening touch and doing the distractions, and then revisiting after, as you know, 7 to 9 minutes, revisiting where we are and seeing how that has changed. Is this nearer? Is that going? I mean, sorry, I'm using my hands, I know, but the representation is usually it moves forward, gets nearer, and the unresourceful stuff shifts over there somewhere until it's insignificant. And then, so basically doing Havening touch, distractions, and knowing that there's a safe place at the back of that. So does that make sense?
Yeah, I think let's do a demonstration that will bring it all alive, shall we?
And I know, can you give me a nudge, Tony, if I get too involved? I mean, if we don't quite get to a resolution, there will be some changes, and there will be some changes, and we will, you know, we'll follow on. I'll follow on with Zoe.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
It can be wrapped up as work in progress, or it can be something that happens more quickly than we expected. So leave it open. Yeah,
We
good.
never know.
We never know. Great. I'll turn my mic off, and if Zoe can open up her mic, and everyone else keep theirs muted, that would be fabulous.
Yeah.
Hi, Zoe.
Hi, Louise.
Well, first of all, thank you for agreeing to this, and you know you've got my contact number, and we can.
My weekly counselling session.
So I know that you know about Havening Touch, and we discussed a little bit about distractions. Are you sitting comfortably?
I'm as comfortable as my spine will allow.
Oh, okay. There's a story there, I guess. Yeah. So if you check palm, arm, face, which is the most comfortable for you? Which do you like? Where are you?
I tend to flip between the arm and the hands because I just find that the face doesn't do a lot for me, but it probably does, but I actually just get some enjoyment out of this, quite frankly.
It feels like giving yourself a hug. Yeah. So I will mirror what you're doing to the best of my ability, and I'll be doing it more or less at that speed that we're doing. About one stroke a session. Session. That would be very long stroke.
That's it. We're done.
Yeah. Okay. So I'd like you to do is to have an easy breath. Settle into the chair.
Yeah.
Feel as comfortable as you can doing Havening Touch. Yeah.
Yeah.
Close your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And what I'd like you to do is imagine for me now, Zoe, without any help from you, your unconscious is going to be working on this on your behalf. So what we're looking at is your unconscious is going to identify a way moving forward. And I want you to imagine for me now, should the issue, the emotions, the situation that is in your mind just now is resolved in a way that works for you, what colour would that be?
Green.
Green. Can you tell me where that green is in relation to where you are just now?
Right here.
Oh, right. Does it have a shape?
Pyramid.
Pyramid shape. Is it moving? Is it still?
It's moving.
It's moving. How is it moving?
It's sort of moving and you know when something's on a, I don't know, it's like suspended in midair and it's just sort of gently rotating, but not around like that, just generally all over. Can't describe it, just generally moving. Easily
rotating-ish.
Yeah, in all directions.
All directions, okay. And so it's not suspended by anything that you can see, it's just there.
Just there.
Doing its stuff.
Yeah.
What shade of green is it?
A light green.
Light green, okay. Is it all the same colour?
Yes.
Good. So it's, and how big is this triangle?
Oh, about as big as my head.
As big as your head. So it's just in front, it's not too far in front of you. It's
quite close, it's back here.
And it's gently rotating in all directions and it's a light green. Does it have a smell or a texture that you're aware of?
It's shiny, but it doesn't have a smell.
Right, okay. That sounds great. Okay, what I'd like to do, Zoe, is to stop Havening just now. Keep your eyes closed. And what I'd like you to do is to imagine for me now the colour that represents the issue you're moving away from, that unresourceful sense, that feeling, that emotion or memory that you're moving away from. What colour would that be?
Trying trying to decide which one it is. Actually, I've got two, and they're very interlinked.
Do colours?
I think it's, yeah, it feels like a sludgy brown.
Okay, so whereabouts is that sludgy brown in relation to where you are?
It's I think it's in me.
In you? Whereabouts?
I think it's around
You're
my
pointing to your chest area.
Yeah, my solar plexus.
Solar plexus, okay.
Yeah.
And how big is that?
Not as big as it used to be, but it's probably about the size of a small football.
Okay. Is it moving or is it still?
No, it's just stuck there.
There.
Lurking, ready to spring at any point in time.
Lurking, brown, sludgy football. Is it all the same colour?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Pretty solid. Or is it?
No, I think it's spongy.
Spongy, okay, that's helpful. Okay, that's good. So it's a small football around your solar plexus, and it's a sludgy brown colour, spongy texture.
Yeah.
It's there. Yeah, okay, so what I'd like to do now is start self-havening, please. And what I'd like to do, I know you like walking, so tell me where you'd like to walk. On a good day, with the wind blowing in the right direction for you, where would that be?
Yeah, I like exploring some of these beautiful, very English country villages that are right by me at the moment, which is usually situated by the side of a river. The River Avon, actually. The
River Avon. So, okay, what I'd like you to imagine for me now is walking along the River Avon in the best direction. And I'd like you to take 25 paces and count 1 to 25 out loud.
Okay.
And each time you take, you're moving away from the unresourceful. Okay.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I'm going to sneeze. This happens to me all the time. 12. 13. 14. 15. 16. 17. 18. 19. 20. 21. 22. 23. 24, 25.
Good. Have an easy breath. Just let it go. That'd be great.
Yeah.
That's good. And what I'd like to do now is I'd like to count backwards from 44 to 0 by 2.
44, 42, 40, 38, 36, 34, 32, 30. 28, 26, 24, 22, 20, 18, 16, 14, 12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, 0.
That's good. And now I'd like you to hum a tune that you're comfortable and familiar with, whatever that is. And again. Good, easy breath. And what I'd like you to do, I'd like to tell me 10 favourite dogs. I was going to say brands, but that's not quite the right word. I think it's breeds, isn't it? 10 dogs.
Yeah, okay. Pyrenean Mountain Dog.
Yeah.
Chocolate Labrador. West Highland White Terrier. A Weimaroodle. My Cyprus Rescue, whatever he is. The Great Dane. Bearded Collie. German Shepherd. Borzoi. And the Malamute.
Lovely, thank you. Thank you. Tell me, why do you like dogs? What is it about dogs that you like? I know.
Dogs have just always been my sanctuary ever since being a very small child. Whenever I felt unsafe, they were just always there.
So what I'd like to do now is imagine stroking the head of your nearest dog and counting out loud 1 to 20 and watching the effect on the dog, relaxed.
Okay.
Melting into that nice relaxed state, counting out loud 1 to 20.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20.
Good. Have a little easy breath. And what I'd like you to do now is to do the hum again. So a little bit more of Baa Baa Black Sheep. That'd be grand. Thank you. You're doing really well, Zoe. So what I'd like you to do now is I'd like you to go back to that colour, the resourceful colour, that green triangle, and tell me where it is now.
Right here.
And is it changed in any way?
It actually feels smaller, but it feels more solid.
Yeah. And it's a little bit farther away.
A little bit further away, yeah.
Okay, that's
better.
Yeah, you can see it better. Okay. And so can you, if you just stop havening now for a second, can you tell me about the colour, the unhelpful, the brown, football-y, spongy sensation that you had? Can you tell me where that is?
It's moved from my solar plexus and it's in here, but it's not as big.
Okay, that's good. So what I'd like to do now, begin havening, please. Havening. So what I'd like to do now is to imagine for me that you're walking somewhere by the River Avon, and you are picking up, by the river, you're picking up stones, and they've got really positive messages for you on those stones, magically. 10 stones. Count 1 to 10. And if you would like to say what those positive messages are, they can be quite short. And they can be repeated. Yeah? 1 to 10.
1, resilient. 2, confident. 3, strong. 4, kind. 5, authentic. 6, vulnerable. 7, resistant. Am I 8?
8. Yeah. Okay.
8. I've lost track of the number.
Well,
8, happy. 9, resourceful. And 10, impermeable.
thank you. So what I'd like to do now is, with your eyes closed and your head still,
Mm-hmm.
move eyes to the left, eyes to the right, 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 eyes to the left, eyes to the right. Thank you very much. Now what I'd like to do now is to count backwards from 33 to 0 by 3.
Okay. 33, 30, 27, 24, 21, 18, 15, 12, 9, 6, 3, 0.
Now I'd like you to hum Baa Baa Black Sheep, or if you want to choose another tune, that's fine.
Have a different tune. Name a tune.
Have choice, that's great. We're doing it for you. Thank you. What I'd like to do now is to imagine that you're walking along by the River Avon, and you are seeing that river just flowing, and you're going to put in the river maybe leaves, and you can watch those leaves float away, and those leaves have got messages on that are not resourceful to you. So I'd like you to maybe choose 8 leaves with biggish leaves that you can write on, that have got words that really are not helpful, you just want to get rid of them. What would they be? Counting 1 to 8.
Anxious, paranoid, weak, resourceless, humiliated, injustice, bullied, desperate, sad.
Thank you, Zara. Thank you. Big breath. Let it go. And what I'd like you to do is, I'd like you to tell me that, I know you've had some dogs over your life, and you're very fond of some, and some that are no longer with us, but tell me the names of the dogs that you've chosen in the past.
So there was my Pyrenean mountain dog, Tanya. There's my chocolate Labrador, Sasha. There's my Labradoodle, Noodle. There's my Westie, Daisy. There is Clyde, who I have presently, and Bonnie, who I have presently. I've had in my childhood, younger years, Pepper and Roxy and Amy.
Nice, thank you. So you've had girls mainly?
Yeah, apart from 2 boys, Noodle and Clyde.
Yeah. And tell me, if you were going out with your dogs, where would you go now?
The fields, or up on the Salisbury Plain.
Yeah, and just can you describe that journey? How would you get there?
Yeah, I could choose. I could either go in the car if I wanted to go a bit further into the plains, or I can just walk from here. I would walk through a small local field that's by some houses. Then I'd go from that further out of the town, and I'd go through some farmers' fields. I'd go through an area where the river passes through, so I like to see different things on my walk. I don't just like to see fields, so I like to see lots of different things. So I always like to go by water. Let the dogs have a swim and a drink and cool off, and then we'll go for a further walk, and we'll walk up the plains, which are quite a vast expanse of very open, very historic land over in Salisbury. And quite often I'll walk past Stonehenge because I like the energy that Stonehenge gives me.
Can you describe the energy that Stonehenge gives you?
Oh, it's very difficult to describe. You just feel its presence when you're there. You don't need to be stood right next to it, touching it. It's just the energy of the whole area. Actually, it's not just the stones. It's knowing that, that's some of our most ancient history in this country, where mankind first began, really. Bronze Age, the Iron Age, the Neolithic area, and just to look at these huge stones, just wonder how on earth they got there.
Exactly, I was just thinking that. You were well spotted.
They got there. But not only that, and what a lot of people don't realise is that procession route goes all the way to Avebury, where there's even more stones, which are actually even more impressive. And apparently some of the stones, they now know that came from Wales. So they had to have got the stones from Wales to get them into Wiltshire.
So it's amazing what can happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Amazing. So what I'd like to do now, thank you, Zoe, that was really, really good description. What I'd like to do now is to just stop havening, and I'd like you to go back into your colours, and can you tell me where your green is now? Where would that be?
My green now is what I'm seeing as through my eyes now. Yeah. So I would say it's
here.
Yeah.
So
as I'm looking out, I have a green film, a green glow.
That sounds really helpful and quite resourceful. What I'd like to do, if it feels okay with you, I'd like you to imagine for me now, breathing in 20 breaths of that resourceful green that your unconscious has given you as a resolution colour, and just allow it to go into any cell in your body that it needs to go in any concentration that it needs to be in to do the job that it needs to do. And you don't need to count out loud for this, just tell me when you're finished.
Okay.
So a short while ago, the unresourceful colour, the sludgy browny colour, had moved from your solar plexus higher up. Can you tell me where that is now?
I don't know if it's that colour, but it's definitely got something stuck in here. And I feel like I want to burp. I apologise.
Okay. Yeah.
But I feel like it's just rather than it feeling like a ball now, I feel like it's just a bit of gas that I just need to let go of, and it'll be gone.
No, that sounds helpful. So if you choose to burp, I have known worse in Havening. So it's
Princess.
So okay.
Done. Very quietly.
Good job. Yeah. So what I'd like to do is just begin Havening again, if you like, Havening touch. And I'd like you to describe to me Salisbury, of Salisbury Plain.
Apparently it's the largest area of land that's owned by the British government still. It's different. There's so many parts of it that's so different. Some has got forest, some's just very open expanses of land with undulating hills, different landscapes, different types of grasslands, very natural. There's lots of nice natural plants and flowers, native plants and flowers growing. It's a wildlife area, an area of outstanding national beauty. There's rivers going through it. Obviously, for those of us that are not British based and who maybe don't know anyway, it's an area that's been used by the military for hundreds of years for practice. But they blend in quite well with the environment, so they're very conscious of the environment, which is nice. But it's just an area that you just, when you're there, you just don't hear anything. Well, assuming they're not bombing or firing off their tanks, assuming it's a quiet day, you don't hear anything. You just hear the noise. The birds, the skylarks is a very prominent feature that always reminds me of the Salisbury Plains. Skylarks, you can never see them, but you just always hear them. Crows, loads of crows, loads of birds of prey, kites, beautiful kites, buzzards. I get the pleasure of seeing the odd hare, which then usually means I lose my dogs for about half an hour. They haven't got a chance to catch one. We see deer that run in front of us. They're not interested in deer, they're too big.
If you could encapsulate how that makes you feel in 3 or 4 words, what would it be? Just being there in that environment.
Peaceful and free, carefree.
Okay. So would you like to just get a sense of that space and light and freedom and say those words? Peaceful, free, carefree.
Peaceful, carefree, free.
Keep going.
Peaceful, carefree, free.
Do those words feel okay to you?
Yeah.
Are there any other words that you would like to?
Quiet.
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 Peaceful. Joy.
Joy.
Nature.
Does it feel safe there?
Yeah. Safe. Always safe. Right, the bomb's going off. But they're a comfort, that noise, because it's familiar.
Yeah. So say the words that represent how that feels just now. Whatever.
Safe, peaceful, calm, relaxed, carefree, joy, safe, peaceful, carefree, free.
Free.
Peaceful, carefree, safe, calm, joy.
Those sound like good words. If you've taken breath, can we check in about where you are and where your colours are now?
I can't see my green anymore.
Yeah. And what about the other colour?
No, and I have no feeling left here anymore. That's gone too.
Does that feel that this is be a good place to stop for now?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Thank you, Zoe. I appreciate your help in this. Yeah, thank you. Oh,
Have me a life moment again, a tropical moment. Thank you.
So if you go back to, I mean, this sensation was representing something. Can you say how that has changed the
Yeah, and I think I can say how it's changed, although I won't, I guess, be able to know for definite until I'm in a similar situation.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
But no, I feel more certain of my own inner strength now than I was previously.
Okay. Sounds like a good idea.
Yeah.
I don't know, how did that feeling of breathing in that green?
Yeah, that's so that yeah, that's nice. I tried to do that anyway with just light, white light, healing energy, clear out anything that's negative. So I'm familiar with that process, and I know it works. I know it does. It's like anything. It's you putting it into practice as well, and you taking time for yourself.
Yeah.
Which is the discipline.
That's good. Thank you. And I think it'd probably be helpful for people to know that you were a veteran. You are. Sorry.
I am. Yeah, I am.
With veterans now.
And I'm only not when I'm dead.
Yeah.
I'm no longer a veteran. Yes, I am.
Yeah. So thank you. Is there anything else you'd like to say? Tony, is there anything else that you'd like to?
Only that I always get these very strong somatic responses. So I absolutely burn up, and I'm sat here having a major hot flush, and yes, I am a woman of a certain age, but I can't blame it on that because I have medicine to take care of that one. But I always have these very strong, and I actually stopped myself from sneezing. But you'll remember, Louise, when we've spoken before, I've just gone into like a complete sneezing fit, and I don't know what it is, but my nose always tingles, and I just have I feel like I need to sneeze. I don't know what that's all about, but that's what seems to happen for me when I clear some of this stuff out.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
And I feel I can breathe easier as well.
Well, that's helpful.
We talked about just a few days ago about me feeling quite asthmatic.
Yeah. And how's that now?
Yeah, no, I feel that my cough just went completely.
Yeah.
After that day, but even now, just talking, because when I've been outside, obviously there is a lot of pollen around at the moment, so you can feel a bit congested by the end of the day. But even now, even though I wanted to sneeze earlier and I didn't, I actually stopped myself from sneezing. Did you hear that?
No.
That was my daughter sneezing in the background with comedy timing. So even though I stopped myself from sneezing, I do feel that my chest area and my lungs and my throat just feel so much clearer.
Yeah. Good, good. Okay, so is it okay if we stop now, and then maybe if anybody's got any questions afterwards? It's just coming up to, I think it's, if my time's right, it's 2 minutes to the
perfect timing.
Yeah, wonderful.
To the 8 o'clock thing. So thank you, thanks again, Zoe.
Thank you.
That. I haven't seen because I've not been looking at the chat, so I don't know what people are saying.
There's lots of comments about how the beautiful scenery that was described could actually be beautifully metaphoric for shifting memories, shifting the stones, shifting the memories, making our own monuments, if you like, with those stones that we're shifting. People are saying thank you for the demo. Fascinating demo, beautiful, thank you. So all good stuff. People are getting the value. So thank you both for being involved and doing that publicly, so that we could all share the benefits of that.